Hi there everyone, welcome back to Awesome Crafter. I'm Lisa and today I'm going to be showing you how we're going to use Armour Etch Cream to etch a design onto a glass. The items that we're going to use to make this project are a standard green cutting mat, and we've got some self-adhesive vinyl that we're going to use as a stencil. We've got a Cricut maker, but you can use any cutting machine that you have as long as it will cut out your design. We've got a little cloth, we've got some rubbing alcohol, our Armour Etch Cream, we've got a little paintbrush, a scraper, a tape measure, a pair of scissors, a weeding tool, a timer, we've got some gloves, and we've got a glass. I've tried this with several glasses and I found that the highball glasses that I bought from Asda seem to work best because of the surface that you're applying the stencil onto. It doesn't leave so many opportunities for the Armour Etch Cream to get under the vinyl and for it to bleed. So that's what I found with those. So that's the glass that I'm going to use today. First things first, then we need to choose our design that's going to go onto our glass. I've already made a few, so I've already got one that says Awesome Crafter, and that's one that I'm going to make again today to show you. And then I also did one with a gnome design on, so like a little gnome. And I also did one that says all you need is love. So we'll head over to Design Space and we shall design our logo, Awesome Crafter. Now on our canvas, what we're going to do is we're going to click on the text icon and I'm going to type in here, awesome, and then I'm going to do Crafter separate because I want to leave a bit of a gap between them. There we have Awesome Crafter. So for this one, I'm going to change the font. So I'm going to head up to the font box and I'm going to click on the little arrow and I'm going to click on System. And in here, I'm going to type in the text that I wish to use, which is going to be MacGuffin Jumbo. This is just text that I like. It's a little bit quirky, a little bit different. And that's going to change the text for those. So we're just going to do the same again. And there we go. As you can see now, that's made that quite large. What we're going to do now is just going to pop back over to our glass and we're just going to measure to see how big we want it to be. So we're just going to take our glass and I've got a small tape measure and I'm just going to measure how big I think I want it to be along the front. So I think for this, I'm going to go for about 3 inches around, and I think I'm going to be looking at 2 inches deep, I think. So we don't want it to take over the glass, but obviously we want to be able to see it. So we're going to pop back over to Design Space and we're just going to alter the size of the text. Now we've got a letter spaces we want, I'm just going to drag a box over them and I'm going to click attach, and up here I'm going to go to the size box. And what I'm going to do is I want my width to be 3 inches. So I'm going to type in 3 and it's made it 1.31 for the height. So I'm going to unlock that and I'm going to try and change it, I think, to 1.5 and see what that looks like. That looks okay because we don't want it to be too distorted. So we'll go with that one. That looks fine. So now I'm going to click on Make It. Now it's asking us to prepare our material, so I'm obviously preparing it on my mat. And I'm going to click Continue. There we have our design. This is a perfect project if you've just got some scrap materials to use, because they make perfect stencils. As we're using self-adhesive vinyl, we do not need to mirror the image, so we will click on Continue. Now it's asking us to choose our materials, so I'm going to click on Premium Vinyl. And I always like to put my pressure to be more. Now we need to head back over and prepare our mat ready for cutting. Now we're back over here and we've chosen all our materials and set in and we've made our design. We now need to prepare our mat and load it into the Cricut. So I'm going to take my self-adhesive vinyl and we're going to put it onto the green standard mat. We're just going to line it up into the corner and press it down firmly. Now we're going to load it into the Cricut machine and I'm going to press the flash in Cricut button and that will load it. Now that's all loaded and ready to go, we're going to click on the flashing Cricut button and it will start to cut out our design. Now that that's finished cutting, we're ready to eject our mat. Now we need to remove the vinyl from the mat, and the best way that I found to do this is to flip over the mat and to remove the mat from the vinyl, and this prevents any curling. Now I'm just going to trim around my design, as that will make weeding a lot quicker for us. Now that we've trimmed down our design, what we need to do now is we almost need to do like a reverse weeding, and what we're going to do is we're going to weed out the letters because we're trying to make this a stencil. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start doing the letter A, and what we're going to do is we're just going to remove the insides of the letters because that's where we're going to apply our Armour Etch cream and it will etch out our word. Now our design's all been weeding, and as you can see, it's going to spell out the word Awesome Crafter for me. And that's the part that I'm going to apply the cream to, and that's what's going to etch the letters onto our glass. Using self-adhesive permanent vinyl is quite a good vinyl to use because it will apply to the glass really well, but it will also come off quite easily once we've applied the Armour Etch cream and we've washed it all off. So now what we need to do is we need to prepare our glass ready to apply the vinyl. So to do that, we're going to take our glass and we're just going to take our cloth, and what we're going to do is we're going to apply a small amount of rubbing alcohol just to clear off any debris that may be on the glass or any grease or grime or anything. And we're just going to rub a small amount onto the front of the glass where we're going to apply our stencil. You don't want to apply too much because you don't want it to be too wet, and we need it to dry fairly quickly. And now that's done, I'm just going to use my cloth now to sit my glass onto. So now we're ready to apply our design. We're just going to take a small piece of transfer tape and we're just going to apply that onto the front of the design. And we're just going to use our scraper and just secure, make sure that's all secured down. Now we've secured the vinyl onto there, we're just going to remove the backing, and as you can see, it's all stuck on. So now we're going to apply it onto our glass. I'm going to pop mine just there. Now we're going to take our scraper tool and we're going to scrape this down really well. The idea is that we need it to be as secure to the glass as possible so that when we apply the Armour Etch cream, it doesn't have an opportunity to seep underneath. If you get any little creases in it, then you just need to keep burnishing it and then those should come out. Then when you feel it's secured down properly, we're just going to remove our transfer tape. Like so. And as you can see now, there it's left us our stencil. So again, if you've got any little air bubbles or anything, you can just use your thumbs or your scraper tool just to push those out to make sure that the vinyl is stuck down really well. Now that our glass is prepared, we're now ready to do the Armour Etch cream. And this is the Armour Etch cream that I'm going to be using. When we're using this, we do need to make sure that we wear gloves. So I'm just going to pop on my gloves. Armour Etch cream is perfect for smaller projects and works better if you've got a smaller project. It doesn't work if you're using it on Pyrex. Just make sure that the glass that you've got is uncoated and it's not Pyrex, and then you can't go far wrong. So now we just need to shake our Armour Etch cream really well, and when we've done that, we're just going to remove the lid carefully. Now we're going to take our paintbrush, and what we're going to do is we're going to dip our paintbrush into the Armour Etch and we're going to spread it over the top of our design, going in all directions, because we need to make sure that we're getting to all the corners of all the letters. And we need to do this for about 5 minutes. So I'm just going to use my timer and I'm going to set that now for 5 minutes. So we'll start that now, like so. And we're just going to take a small amount of the Armour Etch and we're just going to carefully paste it on over to the letters. You need to make sure that you keep within the stencil and you don't go onto the glass, but if you do by accident, then that's fine. You just need to quickly get your cloth and wipe it off. So we're just going to go over all the letters first, like so, and then we're just going to keep going over the top, and we're going to do this continuously for the 5 minutes, making sure that all areas of our letters are well covered. I'm going to continue doing this now for the next couple of minutes, and I shall see you when it's completed. I've now covered all of my glass with the Armour Etch, and I've made sure all the letters are all covered and we've got into all the little corners. Now I've just put a generous coating on to finish it off, and what we need to do now is we need to leave that on for about 10 minutes. Don't leave it on for too long, because then the Armour Etch will start eating away at the vinyl, and that will also allow the Armour Etch cream to like seep underneath the vinyl, and we don't want that because we want to have a perfect design when we're finished. We're now going to start our 10-minute timer, and then when the 10 minutes is up, we're going to go over to the sink, we're going to wash off all the Armour Etch cream, and we're going to remove all the excess vinyl and reveal our design. Now our 10-minute timer is up, we're now over at the sink, and it's now time to wash off all of the etching cream, and I'm going to do that by using the brush that I used to apply the cream. So first things first, we need to pop our gloves back on. Now I'm going to run the water over where all the etching cream is, and I'm going to use the brush and I'm going to brush it off, and then we're going to remove the stencil and then just give it one last rinse. As you can see, by using the brush to rub it, it's helped to remove all the cream off the front. And now we're just going to remove the stencil. Like I said earlier, it does come off quite easily, so don't be afraid to use the permanent vinyl. And you will find that it gets stuck to your gloves as well. Then what we're going to do is we're just going to take a weeding tool, and any little bits that are left, we're just going to use a weeding tool just to scrape them off, like that. And then what we're going to do now is just going to give it one more rinse to make sure we've got all the residue off and all the vinyls off. Now we can remove our gloves. And now we've washed off all of the residue, we're just going to give it a quick dry with our cloth. And as you can see, there's our glass with our design Awesome Crafter. It's turned out absolutely perfect. I absolutely love it. This is a great way that you can personalise glasses for yourself, or you can make them as gifts to give to people as presents. I think they look absolutely fab. And I say you can use pictures, like I used the gnome picture on one of my previous ones, or you can just use writing. I really hope that you enjoyed my video, and I hope that it inspires you to go ahead and etch some glasses for yourself, or maybe to give to people as gifts. All the items that I've used I will link below in the description for your reference, and I will look forward to seeing you on my next video. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye for now.